Hello students, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to study about ledger balances. I'm not going to teach you how to prepare the ledger, but I'm going to explain you the interpretation what we do when we are seeing the ledger balances. But still, I'm going to give you a little bit, only a brief introduction about the ledger, and then we'll move on to the balances, because the balances is something that is again used universally whether you are in 11th class or in 12th class. All right, later on I will make a video about how to actually prepare proper ledger by posting and balancing. Posting and balancing will be covered in some other video. Today I'm going to talk about the balances. So first let's understand what is a ledger. Ledger, this table that you can see on the screen is the ledger. What is a ledger? Ledger is nothing but the head. We prepare different type, multiple lot of accounts in our accounting. So every account that we prepare, that is called as head. And every single head, whenever we are going to record a transaction, like whenever I'm using cash, so I'm going to record entry related to cash account. So cash account will be debited or credited. So this is the format: date, particulars, JF amount, date, particulars, JF amount. The reason I had highlighted the first four as green is to show that these first four columns are the debit side of an account, and the last four, the blank white columns, are the credit side of an account. All right, in simple, when we are preparing, we also make it as T. All right, so this sometimes they are called as T account also. Here we can just write cash account, and we can just write the balances and understand how the accounting entry is done. This is another way. So now I'm just still going to give you two things about the how we actually post the entry. So if the account, let's say cash is, we are receiving the money, so cash account will be debited, whether you apply your modern classification or the traditional debit, what comes in as per real account. And because it is an asset and I want to increase the cash account, so for increase I have to debit it, for decrease I have to credit it. So if I'm receiving the money cash, cash account is getting debited, so on the debit side we are going to record the entry and write to whichever other account from whichever source we are receiving the money. If we are making the payments on the credit side, I'm going to write by and the name of the account for which we are making the payment. All right, now let's come to the balances. Now this is an account. We say when the debit side is higher and credit side is lower, that is called as debit balance. All right, so let's understand this debit balance and credit balance. What we are going to record all the transaction on both the sides. After whatever transactions we have done, we are going to do the total of both the sides, and we will see when we are doing a first total, just after recording the transaction. Okay, we have not done the balancing. This is the part when we are doing the balancing actually. So when we are recording the transaction, after recording we'll do the total. So if debit side is coming higher, so then we say the account is having a debit balance. And if the account will come, if the credit side of the account will come higher, then are going to say the account has a credit balance. What is the significance, or what is the consequence of the same? If we are saying debit side is higher, that means a debit balance, the account is having a debit balance. So what will be the implication? The opening balance will be returned on the debit side, and the closing balance will be written here on the credit side. All right, this is the debit balance. Now let's say if the account is having a credit balance. So if the account is having a credit balance, in that scenario our opening balance will be written on the credit side and closing balance will be recorded on the debit side. So in the 12th class, when we are preparing too many ledgers, these things come handy. Every time a student gets confused, ma'am, whether the capital account will have a debit balance, we have to write the opening balance on the debit side or credit side. Capital account, what is the nature of a capital account? For the capital account, let's see modern classification. If for the decrease we have to debit, for increase we have to credit. All right, so obviously if capital account is getting credited for the increases, the capital account naturally should have a credit balance. So therefore on the capital account opening balance, the question will give you just the balances. You have to decide that on the credit side we have to write opening balance, because that is the nature of account. All right, so now we'll cover, according to traditional and modern classification both, what will be the nature of balances. Personal account. Personal account can have debit or credit balance any. If the personal account is having a debit balance, it signifies that the amount is receivable. Now let's understand from the perspective of the rule also. What was our rule? Our rule was debit the receiver and credit the giver. All right. So when we are selling the goods to a debtor, we are debiting the person because the person, the debtor, is receiving the goods. Is that right? So if the debtor is receiving the goods and we are writing debit the receiver, so naturally what will happen? The money, obviously if I am selling the goods today to the debtor, I am going to receive that money in future. So therefore debit the receiver, and debit balance, if a personal account is having a debit balance, it becomes receivable, because from the debtor's account you can remember that yes, if I am giving selling the goods on credit, so I am putting it on debit and it will show that I have to receive this much money in future from my debtor. Credit balance, let's take the capital account. So in the capital, the owner has invested the money in the business, so that capital account shows the money that the business, previously also in one of the videos I had said that always consider that you are the business. Whenever we consider this point, it becomes very easy to understand what is happening, that we are the business. All right, if we are the business, so business and owner are separate because of business entity concept. All right, because of business entity concept, the owner and the business are separate, and therefore capital entry is recorded separately. Now because we are saying it, they are two different persons, therefore when we are taking this capital, what is showing? That the money is payable. From the business perspective, this capital balance is payable to the owner. All right, so therefore the personal account, if it is showing credit balance, it means the amount is payable to that particular person. Now real account, let's take the example of cash. Real account means assets. Now cash, if I have 1000 rupees of physical cash, that will be my cash balance. Is that right? Now I can make maximum payment. Okay, I'm saying payment. Maximum payment through the cash 1000 rupees only. I cannot make a 1200 rupees payment because I don't have. Yes, I can purchase anything worth of 1200, but the maximum payment that I can do is only 1000 rupees, not 1200 rupees. So if I cannot make a 1200 rupees, that means my real account, cash account, cannot have negative balance. That means it cannot have a credit balance. What is the rule? Debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So it can go out till the maximum amount that I have. If I have 1000, so it can go out only till maximum 1000. So therefore, real account can never have a credit balance. Please remember this. These questions can be asked in your Viva exams also. Okay. So let's come to the third one, nominal account. Now the rule was quite simple. Debit the expenses and losses and credit the incomes and gains. So naturally, it shows that if a nominal account, let's say interest account, only it is written interest account. But if it in bracket it is written debit, that means it is my expenses. But if it is written credit, that means it is my income. All right, because this type of question, this type of things again happen in the question does not specify you whether it is an expense or income, but you can easily identify only if you remember how the nature of the balances goes. Okay, so for the nominal account, debit balance means it is an expense or loss, or vice versa, we can say expense or losses will always have a debit balance. And credit balance, if a nominal account is showing credit balance, it is an income or gain, or vice versa, I can say income and gain will always have a credit balance. Okay, now from the modern classification, it is very simple. Capital, income and liabilities, all these, the nature is for the increase credit them, for the decrease debit them. So obviously these accounts will have credit balance, because to increase them we are crediting, so they will have a credit balance. Now assets and expenses have the opposite. For the increase we are debiting them, for the decrease we are crediting them, so therefore they will have a debit balance. All right, now these are very simple things but very important, because yes, we studied 11th and everything, but when we come to the 12th, we don't remember these type of things, and for every single chapter we have to keep debiting things, keep crediting things, we have to keep writing opening balances, right? And then we keep getting confused, okay, where we have to put, why we are doing it. This is the problem every time we face, like why we are doing it. This is the reason why we write on the debit side or credit side the opening and closing balance and everything. So This was all for today's ledger concept, the balances of ledger. I hope you like it. We'll conclude the topic here. Please give your feedback on the comment box or any specific topics that you want me to cover. Thank you for watching.